Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals. And today we have a Chief Technology Officer, a very young CTO, Miguel. But before we go into the actual show, I'd like to invite everyone, of course, if we look at our stats in the last month, you know, 71% of you are not subscribed. You are watching but not subscribed. So it would really be appreciated if you guys and girls subscribe to our channel. Click that subscribe button now. So
Okay.
my so my guest today is Miguel Fermin. Good day, Miguel.
Hello, everyone. So thank you for having me here in YoungCTO, and very honored to be part of this. And yeah, I hope you're having a great weekend.
Right. So Miguel, let's start it off by asking, can you describe for us your current role?
Yeah, so I'm currently the Chief Technology Officer of Cloak. It's a software development company. We work with companies to build great applications to make the lives of Filipinos easier. And we work with banks and property developers, real estate firm, payments platform, and some other more. My role in Cloak is really being part of the executive management. So I'm a major player in establishing long-term vision for the company, and mostly involved in making high-level decisions on how we run, how we run the company. And you'll usually find me working with various initiatives such as implementation of agile technical practices, um, implementation of DevOps practices, and of course strengthening our company and cybersecurity, especially now that we're working remotely. And on a day-to-day basis, I think I work with my management team to oversee engineering teams, working on delivery of various projects, and yeah, responding to incidents, ensuring that we maintain the consistency of our development and services. And yeah, I think that's mostly what I usually do at Whiteford.
Right. What are the skill sets that are required or necessary to be a chief technology officer?
Well, I think it's really your ability to constantly adapt to different current situations. What I like about being a chief technology officer is I get to represent the team in meetings. Like since I'm the chief technology officer and I represent these people that work in a company in terms of uh, the technical part. And so, yeah, you really have to learn about the business side, learn about new technologies, learn about managing engineering teams. So I think it's really that ability. Since when you talk about the role of a CTO, there's really no standard job description for it, right? Like if you're another developer, you have a very defined job description on what we do. So I think that's one skill that to me is very important, and I'm constantly improving it to be able to provide value to white label.
Right, right. No? You mentioned management no? or managing people. How would you describe your management style?
Huh. In terms of managing style, uh, I'm constantly improving my management style and exploring different techniques
Mhm.
on how I manage my teams. So you usually find me using different management style for different projects. In some projects, I might be more relaxed and just let the team do their work and give them the autonomy that they need to be self-managed and yeah, deliver what they need for the project. So usually just getting out of their way. But there are cases wherein I also intervene. Let's say the team is not doing good and they need some help, and usually you'd be uh, try to be more strict, yeah, especially if some developers were not following the standards that you set for the company and so
Mhm.
on. So yeah, I think it's really a mix of um, mix of styles that I use.
And is this how you would answer, let's say, if I ask, like, how do you build and lead a high performing IT team?
In terms of leading high performing teams, well, of course, there's different aspect of that. First is the people, and yeah, to be able to build a high performing team, you have to have an amazing team, talented people. Um, there, you have to make them efficient,
Mhm.
um, make them create this safe environment for them, yeah, to be their at their best. And I think second is you have to enforce processes
Mm.
and practices that ensures that the team is working efficiently. So it could be DevOps practices, agile technical practices, or standards that you set in your company to make them work more efficient. Of course, third is technology, right? You want this team to have the right tools and the right technologies. It could be a framework, libraries, yeah, for them to be uh, more productive in their work. So usually there are technologies that will allow you and will allow teams to be more productive, and especially modern technologies nowadays provide that uh, that solution out of the box.
Right. And when we're talking about building teams, it starts off with hiring. How do you hire, right? Do you look at portfolio, certifications, basically what do you look for in a candidate with your hiring?
Yeah, certification. I think some companies still requires it, but we don't base our hiring on applicant certifications. So, but yeah, we still use it as a baseline. Um, and I think in terms of hiring, we have the same process for people with certification and no certifications. And we still ask questions and deep dive on their technical skills and soft skills to get to know them better. Uh, and I think those certifications will help us ask the right questions. And yeah, I think that's one part of and we have series of levels in or stages in our interviews. So we make sure we have this. The first interview is yes, they will be called by our HR and to check how are their fit in our culture. Do they think there will be a great addition to our culture?
Mhm.
Uh, Second is, of course, is we also conduct technical interviews and do coding exams and coding interviews. Then third is we also do say a final set of final interview to make sure that we're really getting the right person for the right job. So and I think what I really like about certification is really the training that you undergo for you to get that, to get that certification. So I'm mostly interested in that part rather
Mhm.
than the the paper part or the certificate part. So I would ask questions about, yeah, what did you undergo? What training did you did to get these certifications, and so on. And yeah, I think that's one part of our hiring, and yeah, we're constantly improving it, getting feedback from our applicants, yun, and yeah,
Right. As a chief technology officer of your company, is are you still actively coding, or what percent of coding is in your day to day? And if it is, what's the stack that you or your company are using?
yeah, I think I really miss coding now that you mentioned it. Yeah, I still write code when needed, but that's rarely happen since we already have great people in our company, yeah, who was really good at what they're doing. And but yeah, I think recently I started exploring Flutter. Since in a white Cloak, yeah, we started developing applications using Flutter. So as a CTO, yeah, I want to know the in and out of Flutter, and for me to be able to design better applications. And also, yeah, I think it's just my curiosity about it, and yeah, I'm loving it so far. And since we're a software development company, we don't really stick to uh, uh, same technologies. We constantly adapt to the trend.
Mhm.
So, but right now, what we have is for mobile, we provide two levels, native and cross-platform. For native, we use Java, Kotlin, and Swift. For cross-platform, yes, that's Flutter, React Native. When we also do a little of Kotlin multi-platform. For web, we're using JavaScript, TypeScript, and some frameworks such as React, Next.js, Gatsby.js. And for backend, yeah, just a typical Java, Kotlin, and Node.js, TypeScript, Spring, and I think for automations, and we use Terraform and Ansible. So yeah, I think I'm still a little bit involved in those technologies, and usually I learn more about them when I talk to our software engineers.
Right.
So usually during our one-on-ones or my one-on-ones with software engineers, I ask them about these new technologies. Sometimes they show me their code, and yeah, I think no, it's really great.
Right. You mentioned a lot of technologies, no? And in the IT space, there's really a lot of technologies. No, how do you pick the technology stack in this case? Is it as CTO, you're the one that defines or filters what technology stack to follow? Is it more towards the client's demand, or is it more towards maybe the skill set of the people that you are hired? No?
Yeah, I think it's really a combination of multiple aspects. I think from the business side is we try to choose the technologies really fit for the project. So I think there are certain rules that we follow. So for example, if you're building a financial applications, you might go to a more stable framework and language like Java and Java and Spring Boot, right? But yeah, you can still use. I think nowadays you can still use Node.js and TypeScript to build financial applications. So we try to understand the problem domain first, and before we compose the right technology for that project. In terms of adapting new technology, so in some problems that we will encounter working with our clients, we might need to add new technology uh, along the development. So in those cases, yeah, it usually goes through me before we adopt the technology. So it has to go through my sign off first. Um, but yeah, I think that's what we usually do. And I think the second thing is, of course, before we adopt a new technology, to have we want to make sure that we have expert on that
Mhm.
technology. So the technologies I mentioned to you, we've been doing this for almost 4 to 7 years, I think. So we know we're confident that we have the people expert on this in these technologies. So yes, we before we adopt a new technology, yeah, we have this L&D department wherein we conduct training sessions, workshops, uh, even before we started using it to a project, we start creating proof of concepts or sample projects that we can show to our people and to make them more familiar with the technology.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's really no um, limit right now, or we can't really predict what technology we're going to adapt or not. We have some uh, wish list on our side, but yeah, it's really depend on the demand, like you said.
All right. Now that we are currently, a lot of our IT practitioners are currently work from home, no, or remote working. Um, how have you adapted to remote working, or you and your team, no, or how have you made that more accessible? I would say.
Ah, in terms of remote working, I think yeah, it's a new environment. I think we're used to it now since we've been doing remote work for almost a year now, a year and a half, I guess. And yeah, I think the way we do it, the way we did it last year is even before the lockdown, we've already established a policy
Mm.
on how we're gonna work remotely. And so we're already preparing for the worst case scenario that we have to work remotely. So when and some of our employees already started working remotely. So it became easier for us to transition. And yeah, I think even in the midst of the pandemic, the remote work, we heard a lot of great feedback from our clients that our teams are doing great.
Right.
And there's still some challenges, like yeah, I think uh, what I miss about the physical setup is really the level of collaborations. Like if you have a problem with this, you can just stop your colleague sitting right beside you. And but right now, there's this response time. Uh, you have to be able to use or have a good communication platform. Um, I think that's one of the challenge that we faced last year. And yeah, we're constantly improving it, like conducting employee engagement remotely and ensuring that yeah we still have the same vibe as physically and as physical set. And yeah, I think most of us were enjoying it. Some of our employees were actually requesting, uh, I think, either to make it permanent or make it flexible.
Right.
And yeah, we're still planning about it since it really depends on the needs of our clients if we're a software development company.
Right. You mentioned a little bit about, you have a policy on it. Could you share or elaborate more on that policy? What is that, like, like a work anytime policy? What is that policy? If you can lang.
Yeah, it's just a I think uh, 4 to 5 pages wherein we highlight uh, since they can no longer time in time out using our biometric
Mm-hmm.
in our office. So yeah, we set guidelines that you can use this platform and to sign in and sign out. You can submit your end of day reports, and at the end of the day, um, do's and don'ts. You also provide tips like yeah, use the Google Calendar to set a meeting with your colleague. Set a make sure to include an agenda when setting a meeting, things
Mm.
like that. Use Google Docs. Yan. Make sure to take note of the minutes of the meeting. Yun. And yeah, just a set of rules on yan, for you to be time in and time out, and for us to know how you're doing. Of course, it's remote now. We won't know if you're having a hard time in your work. So we want to know how you're doing on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And yeah, it's just a set of tips, guidelines. We also provide templates yan, for meeting agendas. Yeah, the minutes of meeting. Yeah.
Right. You mentioned very interestingly, no, you won't be able to deal with if or find out if they're having a hard time, no? Parang siyempre hindi mo sila kita. So
Yeah.
how do you encourage, or how do you ask this question, no, to them na, hey, how will they report it from? Do they message you lang as their direct supervisor, or paano ba yan? Paano ba? Medyo interesting yung tanong na yan for me, eh.
Yeah. So there's two ways. Um, I think what we did early last year is, um, well, of course, we tell them, we have our HR team, our operations team, to talk to these developers.
Mm-mm.
We also encourage them to let us know if they're not feeling well, and I think that's one thing. But yeah, some developers would not really reach out to you if they're having a problem on their side. And mostly, uh, if you rely on being reactive or just waiting for them to talk to you, yeah, it will be too late. Uh,
Yes, yes.
so what we did is, yeah, we have this. We want to be more proactive, and we established a system that would allow us to conduct one-on-one. We call it check-ins, one-on-one check-ins with our people on a monthly basis.
Mm.
And so we now have the reactive part, wherein we encourage them to talk, and now we have this one-on-one sessions every month to each of our software engineers. So this will allow us to be more proactive before they even get burnt out, or yeah, we will already know, and give them more advice and more coaching, everything they need to do their work, and to be more efficient. And yeah, I think that's so you have to have a side of the reactive part, and of course, don't forget to do the proactive part.
Right, right. Now that you are in this C level, no, or Chief Technology Officer level, I want our audience will also want to ask, paano ka ba nagsimula, no? Parang dati pa ba gusto mo talaga maging CTO or maging developer, IT person? Nung bata ka pa lang, high school pa lang, no? Ito ba yung pinili mong course, no? So, how did that start?
Ah, I think back in high school, I really want to be an accountant. Yeah, not
Accounting. Mm-mm.
accounting, not a IT. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But since when we came to the school, so we were looking their available courses.
So
There's no
you
more.
pick a school first. Hindi man lang pick a course first. You pick a school first.
No, I already picked accounting.
Okay. You pick accounting, alright?
Then when we go to the school, there's no accounting available. There's no course available. Yeah, so we're talking and yeah, my brother uh he told me about this IT, where I asked him, what does an IT guy do? And he told me that, imagine when you ride an elevator, it goes up and down. So there's a system that runs it. Yeah, I think that's what IT people do. Yeah, that's the reason it moves up and down and so on. There's a software behind it. So I got really excited about it. So yeah, just uh, right after that, yeah, I enrolled as IT in that school. And yeah, and I remember back in college, I really love coding, doing the flow
Mm.
chart. We have this subjects wherein you'll create flow charts, and after you create the flow chart, you'll transform it into code.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think I fell in love with it to the point that I usually help my classmates with their projects, just to get more exposure to
Right, right. Mhm.
different problems. And after that, funny
May,
enough,
may
I
konting
started
ano din ba? Ganun. Konting, sige ako gawa project mo. Ganun.
meron din naman
Meron din.
content. Usually, yeah, I didn't really do it for money. Usually they'll just treat me somewhere,
Tama, tama.
burger, yeah,
Food, no.
food,
Parang
yeah,
dinners on us, ganun.
yeah, dinners on us and merienda. Then it evolved to helping my classmates. It actually evolved to helping students from other schools. And I think I built this connection I have with other schools, and they usually reach out to me if they're with having a hard time with their projects. And I'm not sure if you're familiar. And also during this college thing, if you remember the game Ragnarok Online,
Yes, yes.
uh,
Ragnarok Online, yes.
yeah, I really love that. Love game. I think since I've been playing it since high school.
No,
High school.
I didn't play, no, pero yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and I got an opportunity to work on some we call it private server.
Mm-hmm.
Private server Ragnarok Online where they have different mechanics. Um, I think you'll level up faster than the official one. And I got this opportunity to do some coding in Ragnarok Online, wherein we customize skills. We fix bugs. There's also bugs, and I think we've also developed some websites for private server. I think that was also the time I got introduced to web development using PHP. And yeah, it's really fun since you're playing the game and you're actually playing the code you're writing. So yeah, it's really fun. I think after that, I also got introduced to freelancing and worked in various freelance projects.
Mm-hmm.
And this was also the time I met one of the co-founder of White Cloak. His name is Steve Montano. He was also my professor back in college. He was teaching Android development that time, and he usually gave us freelance projects. And so that's also I think some of our big freelance project came from him. And I think just after I'm almost done in college, he invited me to join my group. And of course, I said yes. And yeah, from Olongapo, I moved to Quezon City and to start working with White. And for 2 years, yeah, I think that time we're only around uh, six six people, and I'm one of the their software engineer. And for 2 years, we've been developing this various applications. And I think by 2016, we started joining some hackathons.
Mm-hmm.
And after winning, I think a few hackathons that we joined, we started getting traction. And we landed our first major project. It's a really big, really big project, and it allowed us to scale from 6 people to around 20 to 25 25 people.
Right.
And yeah, since then, that's the beginning of our big breakthrough. We've started working with conglomerates, and I think by 2017, I got appointed as a CTO.
Appointed
So
as CTO. That's an interesting move, no? It's appointed. No? How does one get appointed na as
uh,
CTO?
well, it's actually funny since I've been working with our CEO Don for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think just a sudden we were filling up this accreditation form wherein you have to put a CEO, a CTO, and a CIO,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Then I think it's not yet official that time that I'm the CTO. But yeah, he put my name as the CTO in the accreditation form. Then after there's really no formal. I'm just one day I'm the CTO, and yeah, there's really no formal job letter, formal
Parang
interview.
natulog ka lang tapos pagising mo CTO ka na, no? Ganun
Yeah,
nangyari.
yeah, yeah. I think since I've been doing the role for the longest time. It didn't matter when it changed the title.
Mm-hmm.
So and even after I became the CTO, I think it didn't really change my workflow. I still code that time. I'm still working as a senior software engineer in one of our projects, leading the development team.
Mhm.
And yeah. I can't really, yeah, I can remember uh, the entire events that happened. I just just one day I wake up, I'm now the CTO.
Parang, may ano na lang 'no, may na para kung may door pa or may ID mo na parang biglang nakasulat na lang CTO na yung nakasulat.
Yeah,
Oo,
yeah.
oo. So this means that there was no CTO prior to you, no? Na parang basically it was very informal pa at the time and then it became more
Yeah,
formal as you took the position, the
yes,
official
yeah,
title.
the visual type.
Right, right. No, very interesting story on how you got that title. So right now you are obviously the most senior IT practitioner in your company. So you have achieved that level of success. How do you personally define career success?
Huh. Well, just a correction. I'm not really the most senior. I think we have people in our company that has more experience than me. Probably 20 years of experience, and I think
Wow.
I've only 10 years of experience in
Mm-hmm.
so. But yeah, uh, that's what make it more exciting. I think in terms of being being successful, I don't really aspire to be successful. I think I really love what I'm doing. Um, I think that's for other people to tell. Um, but to me, I'm happy with my life, and I really love what we're doing at YQ. And everything we do, we're so passionate about it. And I have an amazing team. Uh, I'm surrounded by talented people. I get invited to this kind of interviews, and yeah, I think uh, I feel that I'm on the right track. Oh, I'm on the right track, and I feel happy about everything that's happening, the new learnings, the challenges. It's really excites me to continue what we're doing, and yeah, I think would I call that successful? Um, I think success.
Yes, right?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I think success is really a never ending
Mm-hmm.
story. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Uh, to me, yeah, I just enjoy my life, enjoy every part of it. Um, yeah, continuously learn and strive to reach more, impact more, more people.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You mentioned that you're surrounded by passionate people, and you yourself are probably passionate. No, what are your current passions?
Current passions. Um, well, still, I love reading, reading books, especially about new technologies and new practices and new trends. And I think, um, yeah, I fell in love in this software engineering, concept. And I always try to um, look for ways to improve my software engineering skills. Though
Right.
I'm moving away from coding, I think there's still a lot that I want to learn. Yeah, in terms of, because software development is not just about coding; it's also about managing people and managing teams. Um, yeah, so there's still a lot to learn, and yeah, that's what I love about this role and about what we're doing in the software engineering. And I also want to help more companies. I think most organization needs to be a tech company to survive in this um, digital era, and I'm sure a lot of companies undergoing digital transformation, and it's not a uh, it's not a uh, finite activity that you'll undergo in 1 year. It's really a continuous and a never-ending journey. So, for example, you build an application for your customer, and you build it for 6 months. That's not the end of it. You have to constantly add new features, look for new feedbacks. So I think as a software development company, and I'm really passionate about helping their organization have this technical foundation they need to constantly provide value to their customers. And yeah, I think what we do at Cloak is by showing them how to do that to the point that uh, at the end of the engagement, um, yeah, they could choose to work with the product on their own. They could build their own team to build the product. But yeah, they would still choose White Loaf because they love working with us.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm passionate about. What we do in White Loaf. And I think lastly is I really love challenges. Usually you'll find me in uh, solving challenges in the company, and I think that's also one great thing about CTO because you got exposure to a lot of challenges, and it will really excite you. Yeah. And
So
it's
I
fulfilled.
I only have one last question, which is basically question in hindi naman Tagalog pala. It's in English but mixed Taglish. How to be you po? Or what's your advice?
Okay, what's my advice? Um,
Especially to our audience, no, that are fairly young themselves or want to enter or grow in the IT career.
yeah, I think to me the most important is finding your purpose, and it's I think it's a very general advice to find your purpose. But yeah, I think to me that's what really helped me and keep me going in what I do and focusing on that. Um, yeah, aligning your goal with that purpose will allow you to do greater things that you can never imagine. And in everything you do, well, of course, at least me, in everything I do, I just try to be myself and be genuine as possible. And yeah, and I think caring about what you do um, with utmost, with utmost, care. And yeah, I think that's what really helped me overcome these challenges we faced in the past few years. Yeah, it's really that thing.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
just try to find your purpose in life, and it's really different. Yeah, I think it's different for each person, and but once you have it, it will make things easier. Making decisions, setting goals
Mm-mm-mm.
will be easier.
Right, right. If I may ask, no, because again, as you mentioned, the advice was quite broad, especially on the finding the purpose. Maybe you can concretize this, and maybe you can give some short examples on how you personally. Maybe it doesn't apply to everyone, but at least how you found your purpose. Like, is this something that there's a quiz that you can take, or like a mentorship group, or did you, or how could you find that
Yeah,
purpose?
there's this guy who talk about the about why, yeah, WHY. His name is Simon Sinek. Yeah, really great speaker and motivator. He also wrote a book about finding your purpose. It's called Start with Why. So yeah, I think you might want to to check that out if you're having problem finding your way. And in my case, um, I think uh, one of I I try to revisit it every day, think about it, and align my goals. I do it every day as part of my routine. And one example or story I can tell is there was this instance in um, I think in my career that I'm not sure if I'm still doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's is right. So I think you'll get demotivated, and um, yeah, you'll find yourself stressed in most of what you do,
Mm-hmm.
even in the simple things. And I've always been a ano, positive thinker, and I was also surprised to know that I'm facing that kind that stage in my
Right.
life. And what I did is, yeah, I tried to realign my purpose. What do software development company do for organizations? Why do software development companies exist? Since we already know, I think the path is um, most companies nowadays would build their own team, right? So what value does a software development company do, and why are we, why does White Look exist? So yeah, I try to again. So you have many purpose, of course, in your life. So, but this one for me is I try to find purpose for why does software development company exist? What value can it provide to different organizations? And yeah, I think I found my answer. And up to this day, it's the one purpose that driving me, and keep me doing what I do in my group. So
Right, right. No? So, audience, I hope you we're about to end our show, and I hope you've learned something from Miguel Fermin of White Cloak. If you have any questions, follow-ups, or you just want to share any of the feedback, you can always leave it in our comment section, or if you're listening in Spotify or in Apple Podcast, you can also just message me as the author. So, Sir Miguel, before we say goodbye to our audience, do you have any last shout out or hurrah or invite?
yeah. Anyway, and thanks again for having me here, Rafi. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a uh, to have more experience in software development, or in IT. Yun, just check out our website. I think we have openings. I think front end developer and back end developer right now. But yeah, we'll add mostly we're constantly hiring more people for the company. So and yeah, feel free to check our website or message me in LinkedIn if you're looking for new opportunity, and I'll be happy to refer you to our our recruitment team.
All right. Thank you so much, Miguel. No, and they also actually hold regular talks, by the way. So White Club does talk, and you can visit their website and even their social media to see some of their talks as well. Right.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, I'm inviting you to join our Rafi will talk in one of webinar hosted by White Group. And thanks for Rafi pala for joining us.
right.
Yeah, so
So magiging baliktad naman, no? Sila yung host, ako naman yung magiging guest speaker. Right. So everyone, thank you again for spending your time with us, and I hope you learned something new, or it has inspired some of you to pursue the IT career as well. If gusto niyo maging accounting, pero somehow pagdating sa school dun, walang course na accounting, I guess hindi updated yung website nila, baka kailangan nila ng bagong app or website, Migs, no? So offer mo yun.
I think hindi pa uso yung website that time.
Hindi pa uso yung website ito. Kaya hindi updated yung
No.
information. Oo. Alright, thank you so much and goodbye, audience.
Thanks.
And of course, if you like our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.